What's up, everybody? It's Pallet Town Smeargle coming at you with another Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle, this time against SillyGoodra. Her Twitter link and YouTube link will be in the description below. Please go check her out. I'm sure her content is great. I haven't gotten a chance to check it out myself, but it looks like she's got a lot of Let's Plays, so I'm definitely going to go check it out, and I think you should too. Alright, so today we got a mixed tier match. We had said 2 OU, 2 UU, and 2 whatever else. So we're rocking Hitmonlee with normal gem, fake out, knock off, close combat, and mock punch with unburdened, max speed, jolly, max attack. And then we got Braviary, choice, banded, Brave Bird, Shadow Claw, Rock Slide, and U-turn. Goodra, because that was her mascot, and I actually had a team built with Goodra and Smeargle on it already, and so I just kept them around. Goodra with Dragon Pulse, Fire Blast, Sludge Wave, and Thunderbolt, rocking the Assault Vest, max HP, max special defense. Special Wall is Peanut Butter, our Dawn fan. Peanut Butter's honestly, Dawn fan was one of my favorite Pokemon in Gen 2, and when I saw a shiny in Gen 6, I freaked out. I was like, I have a nickname for this already, it's going to be Peanut Butter, it's going to be fantastic, because elephants love peanuts, and yeah. And then we got different Smeargle than the one we had in our last battle. This is actually kind of a quirky set, meant to go with Goodra. It's a Power Herb set, Baton Pass, with Geomancy, Recover, and Recycle with that Baton Pass. So it's meant to Geomancy, get a Power Herb off, and if we're in on something that we can take a couple hits from, to actually recycle and recover and set up multiple Geomancies if possible, and Baton Pass it to either Goodra or, in this case, Gardevoir, who's on our team. And that's our Mega. So we got Mega Gardevoir with Pixelate, Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Shadow Ball, and Energy Ball. And looking at SillyGoodra's team, we have Ms. Magius, Goodra, she brought her mascot, Mega Altaria, Metagross, Winter Sawsbuck, and Zoroark. So let's jump into the battle. Alright, so she's issuing the challenge, and she sends out Alice, which is going to be that Ms. Magius, which it's kind of a good lead for her, because I think she's predicting the lead with this Hitmonlee, because usually you lead with the fake out. And I went for knockoff, thinking I would outspeed, but this thing must be Choice Scarf, because it hits you in the next century, and that's just going to be it for Drumstick here. So sorry, buddy, you had to go down, but so I go to Gardevoir here, because I packed the Shadow Ball, but I should have known what was going to happen, is she's going to go into the Goodra, and I should have just Mega Evolved and went for Hyper Voice. So out comes Plessy the Goodra, and Goodra's going to go ahead and get hit with this nice max special attack Shadow Ball, and it's going to do a decent amount of damage. Well, not a decent amount, but it's going to do some damage. Jeez, what is going on? Why did it get blue all of a sudden? Sorry about that. So we're going to go ahead and switch out, and I actually switch out into Braviary here to be able to do a good amount of damage to this Goodra. Sorry, I'm messing with the colors. And so Plessy goes ahead and switches out. She goes out to Steven. Steven's going to be her Metagross. Nice and shiny Metagross. So I go ahead and use Brave Bird here. Because I couldn't tell, I thought maybe this was the Zoroark and I'd get it to switch back. But as we see, it's not the Zoroark, which it's kind of going to mean we're going to be in a bit of trouble here, because we're going to go out to Peanut Butter, mainly to scare this thing out, but also because I packed a knockoff on this thing, and I'll be okay taking a Meteor Mash, but she misses, which that kind of stinks. Sorry about that. But she withdraws Steven and goes out to her Alice, and good thing I went for the knockoff here, and not the Earthquake like I originally wanted, but I figured she was going to switch out. So I figured safe knockoff will get a knockout on whatever comes in. So we knock off this thing's leftovers, and I go for Ice Shard because I think, well, it might take it out, and this Magius kind of is frail. But this must be like a max HP one, because we leave it with like 12. So Peanut Butter takes a Shadow Ball pretty well, and gets some health back up. And I just go for an Ice Shard, just thinking that that's probably going to take it out. but it doesn't. Actually, yes, it does. The first Ice Shard doesn't, but the second Ice Shard does. So Peanut Butter gets a KO here, and we get healed up. And she goes to Cloud 9, which is actually one of the nicknames I have for one of my Altarias too. So her Altaria is reacting to the Mega Bracelet. It Mega Evolves and looking beautiful, all shiny. And my Cloud 9 is actually shiny too, so that's kind of cool that we have the same Mega Altarias here. So Ice Shard, it protects. I wasn't expecting it to protect, to be honest. I was expecting this straightforward attack. So I go ahead and for Ice Shard. I just want to get chip damage off on this thing, because I know that we're probably going down, and the only thing that Donphan would really be helpful against is that Metagross, but it's going to outspeed us anyways and do a serious amount of damage. So we're able to get 2 Ice Shards off here. I was not expecting to live that Hyper Voice, but we get 2 Ice Shards and bring it down to about 52, 51%, and die to the Hyper Voice. So that's kind of nice that we got this thing kind of halfway decently taken out. So I go out to Gardevoir here because I figure, well, we can scare this thing out with a Hyper Voice, or not. So I figure she's going to withdraw here, but on the off chance that she doesn't, I still went for that safe Hyper Voice. I kind of expected the Metagross to come in, but we could still hit her with a Shadow Ball. But she went out to the Goodra, and Hyper Voice says over 50%. It's not a crit, so I go for another one just to take it out because it's good against, you know, either of her 2 dragons. And so Goodra's down. She goes up to Dasher, which is the Sawsbuck. Now I kind of do something a little bit different here. I go out to Braviary because I know that we can hit this thing with a Brave Bird and probably take it out. And my goal for doing that was I actually wanted to get Braviary down to the point where I could sack it off and go out to Smeargle. Because I wanted Smeargle to come out and actually set up and sweep with the Goodra. That was like the point of the team, and I figured either on this thing, I didn't want to bring it in on this thing, like I didn't have a good switch in to get it in. I probably should have just led with it, to be honest, and that actually takes us down to 1, which is fine because we don't want to be in against this thing, and so I go ahead and go for a Brave Bird here, just to take ourselves out. But we actually score a crit here and take this out, and I think that crit actually mattered, so sorry Goodra if it did. I didn't run damage calcs or anything, so I don't know. So we get taken down, and Braviary and Altaria, we just trade off. Braviary did his job, but 1 turn too late, so I go out to Smeargle, and she goes out to the Metagross. Now, I'm not really sure, you know, I'm pretty sure Smeargle is just done for this point. But I go for the Geomancy, and she Dark Pulses, which should have, in the battle, told me this was not a Metagross. This is the Zoroark. So I got to Slam Shady here, and I'm still thinking this thing is a Metagross. And go for Dark Pulse, we get hit, and we flinch. And I went for Fire Blast. Now, I spam about 5 turns of Fire Blast. That was turn 1. Turn 2, I went for Fire Blast again. So I'm thinking this thing is actually a Metagross, and it misses. So we haven't gotten 2 attacks off. She goes for Dark Pulse again, gets a second flinch, goes for another Dark Pulse, and we get the Fire Blast off finally. So we missed 3 in a row, so we do a flinch, miss, flinch. We take this thing down below half, and it transfers back to Zoroark, and at this point I literally facepalm because I should have just gone for a Dragon Pulse. Because it would have taken it out. We wouldn't be down to this low of health. So go for another Dragon Pulse. Go for a Dragon Pulse finally. Make the smart move, and we take out the nice and shiny Zoroark. She goes out to Steven, which is the actual Metagross this time, and this is her last Pokemon. So Earthquake, you know, that's gonna take anything out from Metagross, especially a Goodra with 2 HP. So Goodra's down, and this thing shows that it's got the Life Orb on it, so this is a threat. I go out to Gardevoir here. The only thing I have on this to hit this with is Shadow Ball. Because Steel doesn't resist Ghost types in Gen 6 anymore, I figure we're pretty much safe, and that does get the KO. I was afraid of the Meteor Mash and the Bullet Punch, but that's going to be the battle. So, Make sure you follow me on Twitter. My link will be in the description below, as will SillyGoodra's, and her YouTube link will be down there too, so please go check her out. If you like this video and you want to see some more, like and subscribe. Comment if you want to add any content. You want to make fun of me for some dumb plays that I did, go right ahead. I can take it. Or if you want to be in a battle like one of these, please make sure you do follow me on Twitter. That's where I do this. That's where I set these things up with people who I don't immediately know, aren't immediately in the area. So, with all that being said, this is Pallet Town Smeargle signing out.